Hello everyone, Sunday afternoon. It's been over a week since I did anything for the channel, so I thought I'd try and spend a bit of time doing a charcoal sketch. As you can see, slightly different format this video. I've put the finished result up on the screen so that you can see it and how I sort of end up heading towards that finished final product at the end. It's slightly larger than I would normally work, so that's a good thing. I'm trying to get a bit more bold in terms of the size I work. The paper's about 30 centimeters wide, 40 centimeters tall. You can see here that it doesn't always go correctly. I started drawing out the figure, didn't like the figure, didn't like the position where it was, and erased the charcoal entirely. Scribbled over the paper just to get a sort of grey ground with some texture, and I've started again. So it doesn't always go perfectly. I know a lot of people who put these videos on YouTube would like you to believe that everything goes well, but I left that in deliberately. I could have started the video from this point, but I wanted you to see that I actually did the drawing out twice for this video. So I'm enjoying using the charcoal, as I've said in the last few videos that I've done. It's quite a forgiving medium in that you can do what I've just done and erase everything and start again. And it's not fixed until you've finally finished and decided that it's finished. You can see here that I'm busy laying out the shape of the figure, and I'm not putting any shading on or anything until I've actually got the angles all correct where the figure should be sitting. It's working from another photograph of the model that I've been using recently, that I took the set of the photos from a good few years ago now, but I'm finally using them, using the reference that I took, so thank you to him for posing. You can see here I've started to add the major shadows to the figure, and of course at the moment they look really bold and over the top, but the beauty of charcoal, as you can see now, I'm smudging with my finger, and that makes everything far more subtle, and already it looks something like the shape of the figure. I thought I'd try on this one to do a more finished drawing, so it's taken me a lot longer to do this drawing than the ones of late, so it's about 2 hours work in total. So I'm actually putting some of the background detail in as well, so it's the figure sitting in the room where we took the photographs originally, with a curtain behind and a wall skirting board, and the figure's actually leaning up the box that's covered in a cloth or a sheet. You've seen that box, if you've followed this channel, quite a few times recently, because he's been squatting on it, crouching on it, so it's featured in quite a lot of the drawings. You can see here I'm using tortillion, which is basically cardboard, or you can make them from rolled up paper as well, just to smudge. I'm using my finger as well and the putty rubber to erase highlights, just as I have on the last few videos. Lots of foreshortening on those legs that are scrunched up underneath the model, so quite interesting musculature to get right on that. It takes me a while to get it right, but I think the pose is great, and actually I think looking at the final version there, I've caught the weight on one arm leaning on the side. I think that there's sort of a weight to the body, and it's quite realistic. I'm not particularly happy with the face that I've ended up with. As usual, it looks half human, but not particularly like the model at all, to be fair. So hopefully you can see that I was just erasing some highlight using the putty rubber, smudging mainly with my finger, I think, on this drawing. But you can see what a forgiving sort of medium it is really, in that you can get rid of stuff that you've done wrong. You'll see on the face as well, I totally erase bits as I go through towards the end. The paper that I've picked, 30 by 40s, to fit into a ready-made frame that I've got. Again, it's I think an IKEA frame that I've got for this one. So it is actually framed, and you'll be able to see that at the end. If you're interested in purchasing it, I do sell my work on Etsy. I'll put a link to this specific drawing in the description at the end of the video. Please click on that. You can go and see what other work that I've got for sale on there. Lots of tinkering with this one. As I said, I was happy to spend quite a bit more time than I normally would. I've got a day job, so it's often difficult to fit everything in, which is why I haven't done one for a week. But I had a Sunday afternoon where I was free and it was raining outside, so I thought I'd try and do something a bit larger and a bit more finished. Not been very sensible again. I've left the face and the head to last, and with charcoal that means lots of erasing really, if you're leaning on the paper to try and reach something at the top of the drawing, or the top left in this case, even worse. So not ideal. If you're doing this yourself, it's probably a good idea to sort of start at the top and work your way down to a certain extent. Obviously you can't always do that, but let me know if you like the format of being able to see the finished product before the end. If it allows you to see how things change through time. If you don't, I don't have to do it. But I've seen a few videos, I've watched a few videos of people that do it this way, and I sort of quite like being able to see how it ends up. It sort of highlights the bits that aren't right and need further work when you flick from one to the other. Obviously it's a slightly different angle, the one I'm working on, to the finished product, which is more face on. Also let me know if you do use charcoal and how you use it. Any comments on the videos are greatly appreciated. I don't get many comments on my videos, and I sort of want this channel to be a learn together sort of feel to it, really. There's two light sources on this model again, which is complicating things slightly. There's sort of a stronger light from the right of the drawing, and a lesser light coming from the left. That can sometimes make things a bit tricky, but I think I've captured that quite well. Finally tackling that face now. And of course when you're using charcoal, even though it's a very thin piece of willow charcoal that I'm using, it's very difficult to get anything like detail really, so it's sort of almost like suggesting it and smudging it with the tortillion. Takes me quite a lot of time erasing and redrawing to get something half human. But that's the beauty of charcoal, I suppose. You can keep going and erasing and redrawing. It's very unfixed until you get to the point where you're happy with it. Just one thing to mention about charcoal as well, you really need to fix it once you've finished the drawing entirely. I've used Winsor & Newton professional fixative to fix this so that it stays there, otherwise they just disappear over time. I'll put a link to that in the description if anybody wants to buy some. If you use that link, it'll help the channel out. I'll get a few pennies from every sale. You see there, I've totally erased the left-hand eye there, and I'm rebuilding the face to a certain extent. Which just goes to show how useful it is. But notice I am smudging that shoulder the more and more I work on it, so I'm redrawing that because I'm leaning one finger on to try and reach the face. We're almost there, I think. Not much more to go. Must be nearly there, it's been signed, but I always do tinker a little bit afterwards. I should look at the work more before I say it's finished and give myself time to fix anything that leaps out at me as wrong, but I don't. Once it's finished, it's done. Well, this is the finished painting or drawing, charcoal drawing in its frame, sitting on my sort of fireplace, fire mantle. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please thumbs up the video. It'll help me gain some traction and hopefully get the video in front of more people. Do subscribe as well if you're new here and you haven't subscribed. Do subscribe, that'll really help me too. Okay, well, I think that's it for today. I'll try and be a bit more regular. I know it's over a week or slightly over a week since the last one I did. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. See you soon. Bye.